What buyers need to stop doing in 2026. Old home buying advice that no longer works. I'm Eve Metlis with Watson Realty with your Tuesday tip. If you're buying a home in 2026, there are a few things you absolutely need to stop doing right now. I know that might sound a little blunt, but here's the thing. A lot of advice floating around was written for a completely different market. Buyers who are following strategies from 2 or 3 years ago are losing opportunities, paying more than they should, and sometimes walking away from the process frustrated and empty-handed. That's not the outcome anyone wants. Here are the buyer habits that no longer serve you in today's market and what to do instead. Think of it as a reset, because when you understand how the rules have changed, you can actually work the market instead of fighting it. 1. Waiting for the perfect market. This is probably the most common mistake I see, and it's costing people real opportunities. Buyers keep waiting for interest rates to drop, for prices to soften, for some magical moment when everything aligns just right. But here's what actually happens. The market shifts while they're waiting. Competition picks back up, and they find themselves in the same situation, or worse. The truth is, there's no perfect market. There's the market you're in right now, and then there's a strategy for navigating it well. Buyers who stopped waiting and started planning, working with their numbers, getting educated on the process, and making smart moves when the right home came up are the ones who came out ahead. Waiting indefinitely is its own kind of risk. 2. Trusting online estimates more than local data. Zillow, Redfin, or the automated estimate on whatever portal you're browsing have their place, but they don't know everything. And in a local market like Central Florida, everything matters a lot. Automated valuations don't account for the condition of a specific home, the level of competition in a particular neighborhood, or the subtle demand differences between one zip code and the next. When you're making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, you need real data and local context, not an algorithm that's working with incomplete information. When you work with a local realtor like me, you get a real picture of what a home is actually worth, what buyers in that area are paying, and where there's room to negotiate and where there isn't. 3. Thinking you can outweight the competition. Some buyers take a let's see what happens approach. They browse casually, take their time scheduling showings, and figure they'll circle back if something seems interesting. That strategy doesn't hold up as well as it used to. Buyer activity today rewards preparation and decisiveness. The buyers who are buying are the ones who've done the work up front. They know their budget. They've talked to a lender. They understand what they're looking for, and when the right home shows up, they're ready to move. 4. Skipping pre-approval until you find a home you love. Here's a scenario I've seen play out more times than I can count. A buyer falls in love with a house, then starts the pre-approval process. By the time their paperwork comes through, the home's already under contract. Pre-approval isn't a formality you complete at the end of the process. It's one of the first things you should do before you ever walk into a showing. Sellers take pre-approved buyers seriously. Without it, your offer may not even get a real look. And in a situation where there are multiple interested buyers, a pre-approval letter tells the seller that you're ready to close, not just browsing. Getting pre-approved costs you nothing and gives you a real advantage. There's no reason to wait. 5. Lowballing because it used to work. There was a period not too long ago when low offers were a reasonable opening move. In some market conditions, aggressive negotiating made sense. That window is largely closed in most areas. Today, a significant lowball offer doesn't usually lead to a negotiation. It signals to the seller that you're not a serious buyer. It can actually reduce your credibility at the table. You'll lose the goodwill that makes negotiations productive, and sometimes you lose the house entirely. That doesn't mean you can't negotiate. Good negotiation is still a real part of the process, but it needs to be grounded in what the market actually supports, not what worked in 2020. 6. Assuming prices will be cheaper if you just wait long enough. A lot of buyers have been holding out for a meaningful price correction that may not come, at least not in the way they're expecting. This mindset is costing buyers more than they realize. Waiting doesn't always equal savings, and in some cases, it actually increases your cost over time. What you should do instead: look at the bigger picture. Ownership, equity, and long-term value, not just short-term price improvement. Affordability isn't just about purchase price, it's about what the total cost looks like when you factor in rent, rising costs of living, and the equity you're not building while you wait. Waiting to buy can make financial sense in certain situations, but waiting because prices will definitely be lower later isn't a strategy, it's a hope, and it doesn't always play out the way buyers expect. The market in 2026 is not the same market from a few years ago, and buyers who are still operating on old assumptions are working against themselves. The good news is that none of this is complicated once you understand it. You don't need to be aggressive or impulsive. You need to be prepared and strategic. Come with a pre-approval. Work with someone who knows your local market. Make offers that reflect real data and stop waiting for conditions that never arrive. That's how buyers are winning right now. If you're thinking about buying in Central Florida and you want to understand what the process actually looks like in today's market, I'd love to talk. Who you work with matters, and I show up with a business plan, not a sales pitch. That's today's Tuesday tip.